It is currently the morning of the 20th of February, 2021. Of course, we're talking about our tropical storm O-ring, internationally known as Dujuan, here just located towards the east of Mindanao in the southern half of the Philippines. And you might be seeing IR satellite and seeing all this convection here and thinking that's where the center of circulation is. But the thing is, as expected, over the last few days, I've been talking about this wind shear associated with the cold surge. I've said it time and time again, don't pay too much attention to the center line of this storm, and that's exactly what's happening now. I'm happy when the forecast is verified, especially in this type of situation, because we're seeing a bit of weakening. The low-level center is actually located about halfway between Mindanao and Palau, and you can see on visible satellite imagery right here, that is the low-level center. It is completely decoupled from the bulk of the convection located just off the coast of northeastern Mindanao. Thus, really, we're seeing the weakening here. This is all that shear just kind of disrupting it and pulling it back towards the north. Now, this is still going to be bringing some rainfall, and if we do get some more convection re-emerging around that center of circulation, it definitely could pop up and fire up some pretty heavy showers. But at least at this time, it is completely and utterly being sheared apart here. The Joint Typhoon Warning Center still says 45-knot winds, but I would be very, very surprised if they maintain this intensity in their upcoming updates here. Still a high chance of some tropical storm strength conditions, because despite the fact the convection is removed, we still have a tight pressure gradient because of that association with the cold surge towards the north. Still some gusty winds across this area here as our storm tracks off towards the northwest. So, like I mentioned, still breezy, gale conditions all along the east coast of Luzon, down through eastern areas of Visayas, and thus you could be seeing those tropical storm strength conditions. But here's the key thing. I know the track from Pagasa does show this tracking just north of Palawan, off towards Mindoro, south of Manila here, the NCR. It looks scarier than what it really is, my friends. This, by the time it gets off here, I would be hard-pressed to say that this is still going to be a organized system by any means by the time it gets up there. The main threat at this time is going to be the rainfall. It's not so much the winds. And the rainfall, because of that convection out ahead of this and a bit of shear across northeastern portions of Mindanao, as I've been saying time and time again, Samar, eastern Leyte. Some of this might track further inland towards Cebu, but really these areas, Surigao, yeah, you're going to probably be in one of these hard-pressed areas to the heavy rainfall, some river flooding out there, and could even see it a bit further inland because of that moisture coming in from the north off towards Cagayan de Oro on top of that. So the rainfall threat, that's the big issue. I think that's still a severe threat here. Not widespread, those locations I just mentioned, a severe threat of flooding, maybe some landslides. Storm surge, minimal. It's just minimal because of the fact we just don't have that force with that low-level center here. Some moderate wind damage, and I'm talking about mainly coastal areas because of those gale force conditions. It's not a super typhoon by any means, but enough to blow some stuff around. You know, I've been seeing reports of people saying, you know, they got the tin kind of getting knocked around a bit because of these gusty conditions. But all thanks to this cold surge, we are just seeing that interaction and the shear coming up on this, but you still see there is plenty of convection. There is plenty of rain showers out ahead of that low-level center located just south of the bulk of that convection. So still going to be having some impacts as far as the rainfall is concerned here. And this is another imagery. Conspiracy theorists sometimes comment, if you see them in there, make sure you reply to them and let them know this is a real satellite imagery. Is called microwave imagery. It shows us a total precipitable water, more moisture in the atmosphere. You can see right here kind of spinning. That's all that moisture coming in, being pulled in from the ITCZ further towards the south. And then we have that cold surge, which is drying our system up, completely and utterly disrupting it, and plus creating all the shear 30 to 40 knots ahead of our circulation, thus it being decoupled from that low-level center. If you're not sure that this is weakening, another thing is Dvorak analysis. It did peak yesterday. We did have a kind of little reburst of convection today, but look at this. The big drop down ever since this has been disrupted and that decoupling took place. So we are starting to see this weakening here. And that's one reason why I'm saying I would be very, very surprised if the Joint Typhoon Warning Center says this is still a borderline severe tropical storm. Maybe still a tropical storm, but we're looking at depression territory at this time, unless it does kind of get its act together and regain a bit of strength. Saturday night, we still got the rain showers, that convection out ahead of this, though. Like I said, the rain's not going anywhere, despite the fact it is weakening. The rain is still going to be there. So that threat is still an issue through Sunday. Monday morning, it will start to pull away from Mindanao and eastern Visayas. We'll start to see those showers further towards the west. You're not going to be seeing tropical storm strength conditions likely, but still plenty of rainfall, maybe even a bit of moisture getting pulled on the backside of this. So back towards central and northern Luzon on Tuesday. Yes, the storm is here. Probably going to be a low-level center, but a bit of convection pulling it around it with some scattered showers. Not flooding or anything like that, but still going to be something to watch out for. So here's the 5-day rainfall total, the latest guidance from the ECMWF. Yesterday, if you watched my videos, 2 videos ago, I was saying how the ECMWF was way overdoing it. I expected them to back off on the total amount of rainfall. I totally anticipated that. And it looks like they're kind of leaning towards halfway between what the GFS and the Euro was saying. Flooding threat still high in these areas. Northeastern Mindanao. I said it. I just zoomed in on the map to show you where that threat is. But it is definitely going to back off further towards the west here. See some of these yellow indicating about 50 to 80 millimeters over the course of the next 5 days. So almost a week out. That's where we're going to be seeing that rainfall. Manila really missing out on the bulk of it. In fact, you're not really looking at all too much there, unless you get an isolated thunderstorm or something like that. But widespread, not really a terrible amount here. And this is by midweek. Still might see that moisture flow in on the backside of this. So let's take a look at our main points. The storm is weakening, as expected. That's good news. It's fantastic news, especially prior to landfall here. We're still seeing some of that heavy rainfall, though, with the convection out ahead of it. But, yeah, I mean, overall, there's not too much I'm worried about here. Hey, guys, if you find this video useful, please subscribe to this channel. Subscriptions have been going up, and I truly appreciate it. Also, if you find it useful, share it out with some of your friends, family, anybody you know that might be impacted by this storm system. Share it out and let them know the good news, but don't make sure they do not put their guard down. That's one of the other things I don't want to mention, because you might hear it weakening a bit. There's still going to be that rainfall threat there, but we're not talking about typhoon type intensity. Just if you're in a flood prone area, be advised that there is that flood potential with this storm system. All right, thanks for watching, and as always, stay safe out there.